Hello and welcome to the Titus Timeout podcast. I'm Jenny Abney-Civy and today we're going to talk about liners in VAV boxes. VAV boxes have liners for two reasons. First, the box is installed in a ceiling plenum that is not air conditioned. Since the supply temperature is usually 55 degrees and the ceiling plenum can be 70 or 80 degrees, the box is insulated to avoid possible condensation issues. The second reason is to reduce the sound in the HVAC system. Sound travels from the air handlers through the ductwork and into the space. Liners are a good attenuator and will reduce sound transmitted to the space from the upstream devices. So let's talk about the liners. The measurement of an insulation's thermal resistance is called its R value. The R value is a measure of the liner's ability to resist heat traveling through it. The higher the R value, the better the thermal performance of the insulation. VAV boxes are available with various liners for different applications. The standard liner for many years is half-inch dual-density fiberglass. This means it's half-inch thick and it's made with two densities of fiberglass, a lighter density covered by a heavier density that is resistant to erosion from the airstream. So let's draw that out. Here's the top layer. It's a thicker layer. It's usually black, but I can't draw in black here. And the bottom is green fiberglass. You can see it's half-inch thick. The top layer is a high density that resists erosion. This is the side that the airstream will see. Let's get this out of the way just a bit. The standard half-inch dual-density fiberglass has an R value of 1.9. There's also a 1-inch version of this. Let's draw that real quick too. It has the same high-density face and the same liner in the bottom except for it's 1 inch thick. It has an R value of 3.9. When it comes to sound, catalog data is done with standard half-inch fiberglass. So the data you see in the catalog will be based on that liner. The 1-inch fiberglass does not make much difference in sound of the box, and so you won't see much difference in the sound data there. Titus also offers a cool recycled cotton liner made out of denim called EcoShield. EcoShield has a matte face, kind of a fabric liner on top of it. This is the side that the airstream would see, and then you have the denim below that. The matte face resists erosion much like the higher density on the fiberglass. This is the side that the airstream would see. It comes in a half-inch thick that has an R value of 2.0 or a 1-inch thick that has an R value of 1.0. The sound data for this are the same as half-inch and 1-inch fiberglass. Next we have an engineered polymer foam liner called Fiber-Free. Fiber-Free is used when the spec calls for no fibers in the airstream, such as hospital applications. Let's get this up and make some room. So Fiber-Free is just a foam. The surface already resists erosion. It comes in a half-inch and a 1-inch with R values of 2.0 and 4.0 respectively. Fiber-Free does not absorb water, so it's very good for applications where you would need to wipe down the liner as well. It is a little more expensive than the EcoShield and fiberglass, and you will have a little bit higher sound levels as well. Now, many people don't realize that the liner can actually have a big effect on the sound of a VAV box. But the effect it has actually differs between single duct box and fan boxes. In a single duct box, different liners can actually add a little mass to the box, and this makes the radiated sound go down. But in a fan box, if the surface is too reflective, it'll actually bounce the sound around and increase the radiated sound of the box. So let's draw a fan box real quick. So if you look at a box with the motor and the blower, the motor sound is bouncing around in there, but if the liner can't absorb the sound, and if it's a reflective surface, kind of like the Fiber-Free with a slick surface, the sound can bounce around and come out the induced area inlet as well. So I mentioned that fiber-free had higher sound. Let's look at that. In a single duct box, it does actually add a little mass to it, and the radiated sound goes down about 1 to 2 NC. But in a fan box, it is more reflective. The radiated sound would actually go up 2 to 4 NC. Before fiber-free, if you wanted no fibers in the airstream, you had to get a foil-faced liner like our Sterilock liner. Sterilock has a foil scrim face over fiberglass. The top layer is foil. This is what the airstream would see. It's 1 inch thick and has an R value of 3.5. Because there's fiberglass under it and you purchased it because you want no fibers in the airstream, we seal or tape the edges to cover the exposed fiberglass, and this adds a little cost. So Sterilock, move this. So Sterilock costs a little bit more, and in single ducts, it will bring the sound down 2 to 4 NC, but in fan boxes, it'll increase the sound 4 to 6 NC. So you can see it costs a little bit more and has higher sound in fan boxes, but lower sound in single ducts. So we also offer a foil-faced EcoShield liner, which is the foil scrim over the recycled cotton liner. This comes in a 1/2 inch thick that has an R value of 2.0 and a 1 inch thick that has an R value of 4.0. It's a nice alternative if you don't want any fiberglass in your system. Double wall liners aren't as common in VAV boxes as they are in other equipment, but we do see some specs for it now and then. Our double wall is called Ultralock, and it's solid metal over fiberglass. So the top layer would be solid sheet metal, or sometimes people want to get a perforated. We can do that as well, over a fiberglass liner. It's easy to clean because you can just wipe it down, and there are no fibers in the airstream. But it is the most expensive of the liners because it's essentially a full box inside of a box. Acoustically, it kind of depends. What we found is that if you just put Ultralock in, say, a fan box, the sound goes up a lot. And we've had to design the box especially to accommodate the liner without increasing the sound. Okay, so let's summarize these liners. We'll start with fiberglass. Fiberglass is the standard liner. It comes in 1/2 inch and 1 inch. It has an R value of 1.9 and 3.9 respectively. The catalog sound data is based on this liner, as is the base pricing based on the 1/2 inch liner. You can also get EcoShield, the recycled cotton liner, in 1/2 inch and 1 inch with an R value of 2.0 and 4.0. The data is the same as the catalog, and the price is the same as the fiberglass. Fiber-free, the foam liner, comes in 1/2 inch and 1 inch with an R value of 2.0 and 4.0. It'll add about 2 to 4 NC on a fan box, take a little bit out of a single duct, and the price is higher than fiberglass. Foil-faced EcoShield comes in 1/2 inch and 1 inch. The R value is also 2.0 and 4.0. It'll add about 4 to 6 NC in a fan box, and it costs less than fiber-free. Sterilock comes in only 1 inch, has an R value of 3.5, and will add 4 to 6 NC to a fan box, and costs more than the fiber-free as well. And Ultralock comes in 1 inch, 3.9 R value, and the sound will depend on the design of the box, but it is the most expensive of all the liners. So that covers all the liners in VAV boxes. Thanks for taking a time out with us, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.